loud. It's Discord dates. Edit. And let's see. A post. Boom. And there we go. That done. Chat. Hello. Hey Tastegraph. How's it going? It's going for me. It's going alright. Yeah, I just started. I've actually got a project idea that I'm working on now, so going to be doing a bit of brainstorming. Yeah, everything's going alright for me. Just yeah, just streaming and woke up alright today. Everything's going alright, and now it's time for some subpar brainstorming, basically. What about yourself? So, to the people who are coming in, hey Incazadus, welcome back. So, the people who are just coming in, the plan for today is do a bit of brainstorming, probably for a couple of hours. I may do some more streaming tonight as well. And the idea for the game is basically, there used to be this old Flash game that I used to play called Sleuth Shades of Mystery, which is here. It's like, this is from 2009, I believe? 2008 came out. I'm going to just go home from work, have a couple of hours, talk on my game, and then off to dinner for the rest of the evening. Dinner for the rest of the evening? Bloody hell. Long dinner. But, how was work? And how's the game going on, by the way? Yeah, the idea is this, Sleuth Shades of Mystery, and I used to play it ages ago, and I basically just want to make a better game, is the whole aim. I've been doing a bit of research, playing a few games, got a few links to documentaries and stuff, but it's a case of trying to figure out, there's so many different elements of crime scene investigation and detective work. It's trying to figure out, okay, what are the elements first? What are all the different elements? Then, how many of those we are going to actually put in that the player can control and get involved in? And then it's a case of working out how they're going to be implemented. So basically the whole idea is brainstorm, work out the features. And then, yeah, Game of Thrones sounds complex. Well, it's definitely a lot more complex compared to Sleuth. Sleuth at the moment only allows for a few interview questions and a few pieces of evidence. I've really wanted something a little bit more in depth. And so, hopefully, instead of just jumping in straight into the game development, do a bit of brainstorming, then move on to a prototype for sort of like a first case, sort of test out all the different features and make sure it's all working, and then build it up from there. And dinner equals celebrate Chief F's dad, to West evening thing, sadly. Rather work on my game, family crap needs tending to occasionally. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. That's why I haven't been streaming at all this weekend. I had family round. And I think the music's a bit too loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Music. There you go, that's a bit better. Just try to take it slowly, sir. You need to make sure you have a solid framework before you try to make things more complex. That's the whole point of the prototype. Figure out all the elements in the brainstorming. Then make a prototype of the first. I'm trying to sound going, Jesus, last time I was here you were struggling with basic things, and this game seems a lot more complex than that. Yeah, I completely appreciate that. And I know it's definitely going to be a challenge. But I actually want to quickly talk about that. I am going to make a whole blog post about the previous game, the Game Jam game. Basically the whole I realised over the weekend was that I washed into the game jam, for definite. I washed into the idea, which is why the idea didn't get completed, because I wasn't fully sold on it, basically. But this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've brought it up a few times, and Waze will account for that. And it's definitely going to be a challenge. That is very much going to be a challenge. Yes, we're gonna try it. We're gonna give it a shot. And I'll definitely still be doing learning and stuff when I'm not streaming, learning Unity and learning different elements to make sure that this does go ahead, works. So yeah, it's time. Let's the moment. What I've got at the moment, I've obviously played Sleuth. One of my issues with it is they have a subscription model in there for like $9 a month, which all it gives you is you can play another 26 mysteries. Enough crafting elements sound like a hit to me. See, the only issue with that is there's been a few of those out. Most recently was Dark Side Detective, which came out yesterday or the day before that I played. I got it straight away when I saw it, because I was like, oh, it's a detective game. I'm looking into detective games. Let's give a shot at this. It's a good game. It's a great game. Short. Around 2 hours to complete. So there's like another 10 achievements I still need to hit. And it's like, I think it's $7.99. One can never have enough cosmic horror. I see, I'm not sold on the cosmic horror. Like, I'm more interested in the nitty gritty realism side of it than cosmic horror. So that may change. So yeah, like in terms of goals at the moment, what we've got. So this is, who is it? I think it's Hardly Dev. Is it Hardly Dev I got this from? I think it's Hardly Dev I got this from. Hardly Difficult. Hardly Difficult, I got the whole planning it like this, I believe. It's him who does the... How do I balance between story and gameplay? We need a good forward for detective games. You can't skim the gameplay either and have more visual novel than game. Oh yeah, the gameplay is definitely more important at the moment. The story will come later. The story is later on, and that's like after all the elements are in. Yeah, Highly Difficult. I'm gonna shout out. Works. Difficult. I can actually spell it. Make sure I'm actually spelling it the correct way. Links. Fun. Why you break? No, I just want to view all my channels that I'm following. Make sure I'm... God damn it. There we go. Boom. There we go. Explain to me what's the core game loop thing. What does one do as play and how does one do it? That's what we're trying to figure out. So, in Sleuth, you take the case, go to a crime scene, collect a few bits of evidence, very basic bits of evidence. You then go interview the suspects. You have like 4 questions you can ask them, and then you go and compare the evidence from their house when you sneak in, when they're not there, to the evidence you collected at the crime scene. If it matches, they get a star, and once they hit 3 stars, they're the criminal, and you accuse them. The whole idea for this is to take that, but go deeper. I don't want it to be easy for you to go, oh, pick up this piece of evidence, compare it to this first piece of evidence, yes, we've got a criminal. So the whole idea, it's to go a little bit more deeper than that, like add more different pieces of evidence. Have the evidence actually have to go to, instead of you being an outside detective, you actually work for the CSI, the police and stuff, take the evidence, give it to them. Is it a find hidden object style game? That depends whether we go 2D or 3D. If we go 2D, you'll be obviously going on a screen and clicking on objects to find them, basically. It's not a specifically find hidden objects game. It's not one of those ones you play on mobile where you click on it and stuff. Let me just get up to Dark Side Detective. Images. This is the sort of style Dark Side Detective went with. where the objects were sort of, we basically clicked on them and had a magnifying glass, and then it told you a little bit of information, and if there was an object there for you to pick up, it would allow you to pick it up. That's one style we could go with. Or the other style that Wazer was suggesting was a more 3D style, where obviously you got your crime scene with all your bits around it, and you take pictures and locate the evidence. There's no sort of guidance. There's no sort of, hey, I'm an object, click me. It's whatever you find at a crime scene. That's the evidence you've got, and the evidence you can use. So it'll be sort of like you get a camera, take a picture. If you've got the picture, the relevant item, you can use that as evidence. And then you take the evidence. You can use that to influence what questions you ask people. Influence getting hold of warrants, maybe add warrants into the game so you can search other people's houses without having to actually sneak in. So that's like one of the issues I'm facing at the moment, is whether it's going to be 2D versus 3D. Because 2D is a lot simpler, but it does force you down a specific route, like a sort of hidden object style game. You're just clicking on objects, and it's very more directed. Whereas 3D gives you a lot more freedom, but with that freedom comes a lot more challenge in terms of the actual models and animations. Yeah, that is definitely one style. Then other games that might have a similar games are there. I'm trying to think of other crime scene games. Let's have a look at LA Noire game. Make sure I specify that. It's the game I just downloaded. I'm actually have a playthrough. But it'll probably, like, if it's really 3D, it'll be something like this. It's a bit GTA-ish. But in terms of where you go around the crime scene and there's like evidence around there, and you pick it up. If I was to go 3D, it wouldn't be LA Noire like 80s. Probably more modern. That's one sort of weapon you can use. That's the thing I am trying to balance at the moment, trying to figure out which way I want to go. But one is a lot simpler than the other. It also does force you down a path. Anyway, any other criminal games? What are they? Noir. PD. 80s. 80s style. And Noir was 80s, isn't it? Or was it 60s? Early 20th century. I can't remember what LA Noire is. I can't remember if it's 80s or 40s, 50s. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely early 90s. So yeah, I think it's say 30s to 50s. These mobster, gangsters. Gameplay. LMR. I don't think I'm allowed. I don't know if I'm allowed to show YouTubers. Okay, I am allowed to. Let's have a look at this.
If you write anything
Oh, I don't
on
want
your
adverts. We need ad blocker. Oh, dude, it's Marcus. Join the pizza party. Welcome to the pizza party. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? Al Capone is active in the 30s. Good point. Yeah, that's when all like the mobsters and stuff all go in the wheel. Doing great, you? Yeah, I am doing good. I'm currently doing some research for and brainstorming for the detective game, deciding on whether to go 2D or 3D.
I'll keep Mr. Wilkie talking, but don't make him wait too long. He's the rest.
We're just coming to have a look at some LA Noire gameplay to see what sort of how they approached. Intuition will LA location, detect clues and evidence.
Victim looks to have lost them.
That is a lot of blood. Get to the actual crime scene. Looks like he's. Okay, so you've got different people you can talk to.
What have we got? A lot of blood for a blood force injury. Victim must be in a very...
On this. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I used to go off. It's a case of. It's definitely a case of realism versus gameplay. That is like a big sort of thing, because obviously that is obviously definitely focusing them towards something and giving them objectives and people to look for. Link 2D and then check out Hotline Miami. Heard of it? What is the game about though? I know it's a lot of shooting. Damn shoot video game. Yep. That's one other style. My issue with that style is it's very limited in terms of crime scene. It's a case of, so at the moment we've got that one. Where's the other? Dark Side. I found a Hotline Miami graphics always look a really hot 80s mess with those colours. Yeah, I don't think I'll go that bright. It'll definitely be a lot darker than that. But in terms of approach, I feel top down maybe a bit too restricted in terms of evidence collecting. I mean, both of these are pretty restrictive. But this one is sort of forces you to point and click. This one forces you to walk around and then you press one button, and if you interact with an item, hey, you've picked it up. And then it's a case of obviously making all the items interactive, and people will go around collecting every single item. That one thing Wade suggested is maybe having restricted how long they can spend there, so they've got to really prioritise what they collect, which may be a way to force them to not pick up everything. Don't allow them to take everything. Whereas this one is you click on it to investigate it, and then you can take it if you want to. But it does make it 2D does make it a whole lot easier. 3D is obviously you can go into a lot more detail in terms of, hey, I can pick up this. I can open up this piece of paper, like so. And in terms of the office, when you get back, once you've collected all the evidence, you go back with the evidence from your crime scene you can walk into a room which automatically tells you what you've got in terms of information and open cases. I don't want all cases to be open and shut. There should be somewhere it's like, okay, we know it's this guy, but we haven't got enough evidence to connect him to it. So you walk into your room, and you'd see like a board of open cases, and it would have their picture that you could pin to that board. You could see it straight away. That's the selling point of 3D. But it's a big investment compared to 2D.
Anybody else in the yard? Maybe somebody had...
And they do questions. It's automatically have questions.
Detective Phelps.
Name's Nate Wilkie.
You found the vehicle?
Sure. Saw it just sitting there. Strange place to be parking the car. Nope. I hadn't seen it thrown.
I like that. That's good. I like the whole book. Because I was reading it, when I was doing some research earlier, I was looking at how they approach crime scenes. One of the things they have is they have a murder book where they keep every step of the investigation, witness statements, crime scene photos. So they can figure out. They have everything. They have everything in one place. They can just look out and figure out any connections and links. But I like the book idea. Where's the features? This book. Oh. License capped. Objectives. Quest information. Answer to questions. Information about evidence. Looks like he's not asking any of the questions. Look at here, see if he gets to ask anything here.
Bad news.
That's one of the things, obviously, in terms of you are limited because you can't give them freedom to ask every single question.
Water heater installation window at the side of the house.
Let's check the place out.
You can ask any questions. Oh well. Okay. I'll have a looking at LA Noire. I'll have to play some of that later. What does everyone else think? What do they think in terms of 2D versus 3D? Like, I'm gonna start listing some of the pros and cons. (2D) pros. (3D) pros. Cons, I feel it limits to a certain style of gameplay. Where it's top down. Side on. Pros. Not as time consuming. The amount of detail I have to go in with 3D. Tried 3D. If I attempted with 3D, it'd take a lot more time. I feel. Pros is I can go into more detail. Cons. Investment. Whatever else says 2D versus 3D. I'm thinking more complex for rendering physics. Rendering performance much more detained. Use inputs a bit. Jason. Obviously, there is, especially for like the beginning, there is like basic assets I can use. And obviously, in the future, develop. All those cons are handled by Unity. Okay. Well, in terms of the like user input and like the pipelines, I'm assuming you're talking about, but obviously the skills still needed. When is that post made? That post is made probably ages ago. 2010. Yeah, oh yeah, it might not take account modern game engines, but the one thing that I know it does still ring true is obviously the set skills. Animators, texturers. I think we might. No, I want to. This is the difficult part. This is the part I've been struggling. So I started doing up this idea, like all of this documentation yesterday, and the moment I started doing it, the whole idea between 2 and 3D was going through my head, like the entire time. I've still not decided. I think so. What skills to learn? It may be a case of figuring out what I want to do, then figuring out case of which would fit. This probably like by the end of this, we're gonna get like the takeaway will be 2D or 3D. Basically, is so we want them to have that book. We want them to have when they collect a piece of evidence. So idea can ignore that if done a certain way. What do you mean? I know you mentioned that yesterday when we were talking, but I still don't understand how you can. Oh yeah. I see how you mean actually. Yeah. So obviously, if you don't show their arms, their legs, you just like you can look. You're basically the camera. You look around. You can disregard some of it. Yeah. See what you mean with that. Yeah, you just have a camera. No physical animation. screw it, we're going 3D. You know what? We're just gonna go 3D. Like, thinking about it that way, actually, you saying that again, and me actually thinking about it, the way I want to do it requires 3D, basically. It's a case of, if I was to do it in 2D, yes, it'd be a whole lot simpler. It would be time consuming, but a few of the elements I want to have in there would have to go. So yeah, we're selling on 3D, guys. Job's good. End of stream. No. We'll put that here. Settle, it's 3D. I can give it that now. You. Next, the case of the. We can get rid of that. The elements, like how are we going to do cases? So there's two major. There's three major elements. You have the crime scene. And obviously all the evidence I want to work on. Interviews or interrogations. And then your office. So obviously you got your crime scene, you collect all the evidence, the information about the crime scene from talking to people around there. With interviews and interrogations, we can find out more information, present evidence. Heading. Oh. So, collect evidence. Speak to the first responders about what happened. But not necessarily true. I don't want you to. I'm gonna focus 2D stuff. My current point is my first 3D one. That's awesome. Yeah. This is gonna be my first major project in Unity. To be fair, do you know what country you'd want it to be based in? That is a point. That is a point. I would have to. I think from all the programs I've watched, it would probably have to be America. I think America would be the best place to have it in. But I'm expecting you to say Britain can be interesting too. UK can be interesting too. So I'm in climate Victorian England. We'll see down the Jack the Ripper route, and I really want to go for more modern. I've Britannium. Damn it, Cadidus. There is a limit to caps. You can't just spam a load of caps. You should be it's probably it's a warning, so you'll be don't betray your country. I'm sorry. It's okay. Nightbot will sort you out. Victorian England. I'll add it to notes. Do it there. Maybe. The world. Told me climbing Victorian England is they ruled the world. It's now the year 2200. New condition, make it America, I'll make a version in the UK. You did say more modern. Oh, tasty guff. Oh, tasty guff. Ways the issue of the UK is I feel it's very limited in the crimes. I mean, there are some big ones. Like there are some. There are obviously crimes that happen in the UK. but it's invented crime. Have you ever been to South London? But boy, every crime in America is simple. Guy shot guy. Not all of them. Says self-defense. Survival wins. No, let me open it on the second one. So, British crime adjacent. I'm doing it off screen for safety purposes. Yeah. You guys invented a dialect just to cover up your crimes.
Discover how you can help the police investigate.
Not what I wanted. How do Cockney is bonk? Yeah, that is true. I like the Cockney slang. How to solve it? No, I don't want to solve a Rubik's cube. How do police investigations work? Murder investigations. Okay, there we go. That's all that. No, I don't want to play a game. I don't want to play a flash game. I want to see how UK approach it. Wow. Investigation procedures. There we go. This will be fine. First officer attending. Mania, probation, processing, thing, covering. Pretty much similar setup. Isn't it true that Cockney was invented? We can have a look. You know what? I'm actually interested in where Cockney came from. History of Cockney. There they are. Dialect. Hey, Terrible Gamers, how are you doing? Both were working class Londoners. Guys are Brits, you should know. Yeah. Nope. No idea. Social. East End. Working class. The accent dialects spoken by working class Londoners. Bells area. No idea. A little worth trying to implement multiplayer in your project. Oof. That is... I know from watching Razor implement multiplayer and his complaints throughout the entirety of development. You're paying. Which is why I'm sticking with single player. How's it going with the multiplayer, by the way? You're doing it in Unity, right? Or... I'm assuming you're doing it in Unity, or you're doing Unreal. Whatever engine.
Movie stardom relied on the fact that Psy...
Michael Caine. Oh, Michael Caine grew up in Southwark. Okay. Yeah, Unity, yeah. Was Cockney invented to cover up crimes? Let's just go. Let's just go for it. Rhyme with slang. mean, they probably did use it. There were sources, kind of the slang dictionary, England, sheet music. No idea. Oh, Cryptolect developed intentionally to confuse non-locals. Any sense of community or to allow traders. Maybe. Or by criminals to confuse the police. There we go. The secret language. And has various kinds in Great Britain to less extent in other English-speaking countries. You may have been onto something, Tastegraph. Boy, I love game development streams. I think this turn from game development to learning about rhyming slang. Luckily, the new UNet seems easy to use, but didn't help the fact that it's still my first multiplayer project. Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge. I haven't seen. I've obviously seen it that they've done like a big update with the whole Unity 2017.1. I'm assuming you're on 2017.1 and not the beta of 2017.2. It was documented about it once. Ooh. If you know what the name of the documentary is, that'd be cool. Let's learn dialects, accents so you can pinpoint where people came from without them telling them. Good approach. Playable graph, and what's thing? Yeah, that's the upgrade. There you go, release notes. Yeah, 2017.1. I actually have no idea what this is saying. I don't even know why I'm trying to read it because half this means absolutely nothing to me. But where's the page? Come on in, Cockney, thieves, can't. I'll put it up there. So going back to the sort of main things, it seems to be the same whether I do in Britain and England. Britain or England. Wow, Callum. Oh, yep, you're really on top of the ball today, Callum. UK or the US. Everything's the same. Yeah, I didn't know if they approached in a different way. If they did, so all the British Empire. Tell a lot of people ask me if I might play my game. I'm totally not texting yet. Yeah, I'm not ready for multiplayer. I feel you there. Where am I putting this? I'm putting this there. Oh, by the way, I don't know whether I've. I don't think I have. I'm hoping this. Pete, but yeah. The music you are listening to right now, if you can hear it over my voice, is by this guy called Project Max, a video game composer. He put me a follow when I started tweeting. Like I said, does music is really cool. And I asked him if I could use it on the stream, and he said, "Cool, bro." Not in that exact words. And he put together a collection of his music. It's gonna change like every now and again. He adds new songs to SoundCloud. There's some cool stuff. I'm seeing leading investigator. There's a bit of our Viking blood in you lot over there. Denmark is one of the places I like the look of. Denmark and this is where I'm about to. Yeah. Just making sure. Denmark and Norway in that sort of area. It's a beautiful place. And if I come out the other side without offering myself, I'll let you know what it's like. Oh, game development. I missed a call and I got a voicemail. Okay, I'll check that later. Made a video this morning of the progress of my game. Kazza, sticking to what you know is not always the best bet. You gotta go out. You gotta go out the box of points. It's the only way you're gonna challenge yourself and develop. Yeah, Scandinavia basically. Let's go off. And let's go off. If you want to post a link to that every video, I will. Let me just permit you. Boom. You got permission there if you want to post a link to the video in the morning of your post game if you posted it. Norway is ultra expensive to live in. Be worth it though. It's a lot cooler than the UK. The UK was meant to be cool. Yeah, if you want to link to your game vid. And I'll check it out after stream, and then obviously if anyone else wants to bookmark it before after the stream's finished, obviously. No, if you want to watch it, there we go. Yeah, let me just quickly open it up. $16 on it. It's just a short 1 minute video. Oh, so right then. Learn to code and get a copy of love. It's looking good. Did you say this is your first 3D? We loving the animations. With workday 16, this is some progress because I've seen you post. I've seen show a few other streamers. Oh, different animations for different weapons. Cool. That's really awesome. Lead character model for prototype. Aside from the axe in his head, some good stuff there. Nice one, Tastegraph. Do scenes of crime officer or a detective too. Okay, let's scenes of crime officer, detective. Okay. Now it's forensics evidence to the British police, forensic scene investigators or crime scene investigators. Yeah, you can attach an attack animation to weapons when you're making the weapon to the editor. You can set up animations and hit sounds. Sweet. Well, it's looking good. I'm gonna say it's looking good. And for day 16, that is some progress. Pass to detectives and to forensic laboratories. Investigate crimes or analyze evidence themselves. So it'd probably be a detective. Didn't solve a crime percentage job. We have a large sense of satisfaction when you crack a case. Out some of the work in police stations, send on case where research will interrogate people who've been arrested. And large events have the capacity to become volatile. CID. Police. Okay. Criminal Investigation Department, there we go. Right, all territorial police force within the British police. Claim to owes detective along. The constable. No, let's have a look and read them. British police mechanism seconds for body rank. Policing. Equal in ranks and uniformed counterparts. Activity identified between training and investigation. The British Armed Forces Military Police have an investigation department. It's not called CID. Like Special Investigation Branch is for the same or civilian CID. years. Fully placed with investigating major crimes or offences require complex detection, active on intelligence received, and then building a case. Yeah, it would be a detective. It would be a detective, not a Soko. Soko seems very limiting in terms of you just collecting the evidence. Detective takes the evidence, and I'm assuming they can collect the evidence too. Then they can do the investigation. That's really all I want. The like 3 main elements I'm thinking are your crime scene, your evidence, your interviews, and then your office, which is like your hub. All the information there for you to see. I mean, everything. Proof. Well, I mean, it will actually speak about what happened. Like evidence. Process. Office. Board. So you got an office which the whole point is you should develop as you complete cases, or cases don't get complete and they get like left open, but you move on to something else. The hope is that you can quickly walk in and see where you are in terms of what cases are open, what cases are closed. So like, let's say you've got you're currently working on a case, there'll be a board with a timeline that you've started to plot, and you can plot that timeline. You have all the evidence in front of you, sort of like papers, please. Like, yeah, let's say that's a board. You have all your different evidence here. You can drag it up to the board, pin it, and you can link different bits together. So you can make your own timeline. The hope is the plan is to make it. There'll be some points that point you towards things. So like when you pick up evidence, I may take it from LA Noire in the fact that it says, "Oh, new suspect that you can look at." Or a new evidence piece you've got. Like I may have that happen, but in terms of actually plotting the timeline and figuring out certain things yourself, I want there to be some sort of thinking involved. I want it not to be. I want the game to force feed you everything and guide your hand. I want there to be some elements that are left up to you to figure out. So yeah, the office board putting things up to connect them, timeline. Timeline, investigation. Where the boards are used? Like that. Right. And you can obviously link it up and stuff. Book where all the information is kept, that will go in there. Charge road, collective evidence, evidence go. That will leave out for the moment. Of crime, you have your unfinished cases board. Pictures of people you think done it with the crime. Mason. Or even just empty boards. And you use them how you want to use them. The advices that you do, stuff like that. So we have your timeline, and then you have your ones that are not finished yet. We have information on there. But ultimately, you can choose what to do with things. You can choose where things go. Interviews and interrogations depends on the evidence you have and who else you've talked to. I'll look at UK interrogation. No, not integration. UK interrogation. Of course. Your rights when you're arrested. Let's have a look at this. Second, you're expected. Recorded, don't have to answer questions because if you don't, how long could you be held in custody? 24 hours plus charge crime. Take photographs of you, they take fingerprints and DNA sample. DNA. Both permission and the authority of senior police officers to take samples. Blood or urine or take dental impressions. Database. I don't have a police database. Um, 24 hours. I'm assuming they can just hold you for 24 hours. Like there's no sort of like anything similar to a warrant. They can just arrest you for 24 hours and hold you for 24 hours with no National Computer or PNC. Thank you. Police. Yeah, I'm assuming that there is no like warrant or anything similar that requires them that they need to have to be able to arrest you. Okay, so yeah, they can arrest you for it like without having to go through any process, but after 24 hours you have to be released unless you're being charged. Got it. Brought to interrogation. They arrest you. Hours. Authorized detention when you arrive at custody. Sweet. It's gonna get a lot more silent. Custody suite. Welfare West President's report to custody suite. He's authorized or refused detention of any detainee presented before him. Circumstance of arrest and further detention of the person being authorized. Awesome. I need to know to just respond no to it. No comment to everything. Oh yeah. Okay. Issue. Talk. Custody officer. And say there's yes or no. Up to a week, however, without charge. Oh yeah, I saw that on there. Put that in as well. In terms of the steps, so sort of a crime. Of a crime by radio. Like in English. Crime by radio. Missing information. 2. The crime scene. Speak to the first responders. Overview. Collect. And process evidence. Oh, not process it, collect, yeah. Collect evidence. Speak to the person who called it in. Over here actually. Then obviously you're processing evidence. Interview those related. Potentially arresting and interrogating 2. And then presenting evidence to X. Court. The evidence. You won't actually be in the court. You'll basically see if you've got enough information to charge them. And if you do, then they'll be arrested, basically. But not all cases be openly shut. Some will take time. Waiting for a lead to come forward. You may have to move. To a new case. Others you've been arrested for criminal incompetence. Others you may have arrested the wrong person. If that happens, that person may commit another crime. If you say you give evidence to them, oh, with the CPS, okay. You don't present stuff yourself. Oh yeah. They're not gonna present stuff. They're just gonna give the evidence to CPS. Criminal Prosecution Service, and then they will do it. They need to be able to go up to someone and go, okay, this is what I think. The question here is, do we ever show? Do we ever show game? Think questions. Let's set up a thing for questions. Goals, anti-goals, hooks. Questions. Do we ever tell the player if they've arrested the wrong person? They arrested the right person, or if they arrested the right person. Because obviously, when you arrest someone when that stuff happens in real life, you're never 100% sure. Obviously, it's the game. You need to be able to. If you are going to tell them they've done the right one or the wrong one, when you tell them, and how you tell them. Um. Was it just the satisfaction of completing the case? Because you've still got to present enough evidence to prosecute them. Is that the sort of yes, I've done it meter? Is that the sort of reward, is that enough reward to know that yes, I presented enough evidence that they've arrested this person, they've gone to court, they've been charged? Is that enough to say, okay, great? Or do we need to tell them whether they've definitely arrested the right person or not? Chewing a conviction, what do you mean? Or are you saying it's 9 out of 10 times you know the person committed the crime? So are you saying that you don't tell them whether they've done it or not? The fact that they've secured a conviction is enough positive feedback to the player that, hey, I've done this. First say the person you know committed crime or not be convicted of said crime. But first saying the person you know committed crime or not be convicted of crime. Yeah. So what you're saying is you get the satisfaction for completing the case and convict the person you believed it to be. You don't need to know 100% it's the right person. Like, you don't need the game to say, yes, you arrested the right person, or no, you didn't. Case. Person. Don't need to be told that you were 100. Like, don't need to be told by the game that you arrested. By the game that you arrested. Now, sleuth. And actually, does I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I have skills. Taking account. I'm taking no for the answer there. Oh, you have intuition points. See, this is another thing. So, over time, investigators learn, or they have people that specifically know how to read people and situations. Do you put that as an element in the game, where you give them stuff like intuition points, where they can sort of detect whether the person's telling a truth or lie, or do you do it visually? Using research of typical ways people give off their lying, etc. And do it visually, and then allow people causing them harm is only such a close really impact your end of the case fitness report. Oh, someone crashed into a person. Not to be purely obvious they've done it or not. No, I don't want it to always. It's not always going to be obvious. Like, it shouldn't always be obvious. But it's always obvious, and it's not really a very good game. Like, I know it's you. Let's collect some evidence. Yeah, let's prove it. But yeah, do we do the reading people? Or do we have like intuition points or something similar? In terms of interrogation, I know I want to get them to talk. Use to talk. You can use various interrogation techniques. Such as bearing them in evidence. Crime scene 6. Let them know. No collecting enough evidence. I mean, it's clear that there's gonna have to be a tutorial. Some elements of the game. Or your first case or a couple of cases. Where you'll learn interrogation techniques, etc. Or ways to approach things, or evidence you should look out for. Out for interrogation. Questions you can ask. What are those triangle markers? Narrative. Those placards. Evidence tents, that's what they're called. Evidence tents. What evidence? Let me just double check. Evidence. Yeah, evidence. Evidence. So far, what we got, in terms of the aim, take sleuth, go a bit further, win interrogation, takes time for evidence to be processed, you feel like a real investigation. You do have a random selection of crimes that are just like randomly generated, or maybe that I've already put together, but like you get a random crime. There are crimes that will be linked. Maybe the same person, or maybe they're linked in another way. And every crime you complete will have a file that's stored that you can go back and look at, so you can link crimes together. You may be like, oh, I recognise this way of doing it, or I recognise the name. Let's go back and look through what I've got. Goals so far is cheaper than Sleuth. I want it to compete with Sleuth in terms of content and price. I'm gonna get decided whether it's gonna be a game, is in terms of you pay X amount, you have the game, and then do updates with more crimes or DLC with a major lot of crimes, or subscription. Subscription's probably. I'm definitely veering away from subscription, but it's a consideration. It's been moddable. Either players should be able to add new crimes themselves, either through the Steam Workshop, or suggest new crimes, which then I can easily implement into the game. And in between the lines, not everything you told be true. So it may be completely false, so it may be twisted. You should question everything. Detective work to be a good detective. Like, someone may say, "Oh, I heard a gunshot this time." Maybe they didn't. Maybe it may be human error. Maybe their clock's wrong. And if you go in and like, let's say you've recently looked at the time, you see their clock's like an hour out. You're like, oh, okay, and that's going to really affect it, because especially when you put together a timeline, you need to know when things exactly happened and place people. The only anti-goal I've got at the moment is real life crimes. I'm going to take into account what's happened in real life, but avoid recreating them in detail, or in the exact way that they were committed, due to legal issues and out of respect. Kind of questions is, do you have intuition points or crimes and hints, or is it fully up to the player? Is it fully the player who's responsible for how things progress? And do we let them know when they've collected enough evidence, or is it purely, after the tutorial, it's like, okay, here you go, it's up to you? In terms of an idea for a story, perfect murder. How do you catch someone when there is no evidence? Maybe not no evidence, but minimal evidence. That'll be one storyline from like one murderer or murderers. So the features, you have the steps related to how you go through the game. And obviously, some of these will be mixed into each other. But in terms of the main elements, we've got the crime scene and the evidence collecting. We've got the interviews and the interrogations, people. And then the office is your hub, where you can plot your timelines, you can plot your board of the unsolved cases, you can keep all your files. Comes like inspiration, we've got a sleuth, which is the whole thing that inspired the entire idea. Dark Side Detective, which I played yesterday. It's got a nice vibe to it and a nice approach to it. It's 80s, 90s horror game. Well, 90s horror meets detective novel. Meets a load of bad puns and jokes. It's basically the summary of it. And Lady Loire, which I'm going to play probably tonight. Start playing it tonight. It's a lot more research I need to do in terms of crimes, the actual specifics of crime scene investigation, the processing of evidence. Also watch films, TV series, play other games that have touched on it. And this is some of the evidence. This is some of the research I did earlier about how they do it in terms of the whole murder book timeline, following every lead, different steps, the questions you should probably try and answer. I think the main elements of it figured out now. It's just the setting and it's probably most likely gonna be UK now. Think about it. It's still UK versus US, but likely UK. Let's go with but likely UK. Because UK is different to obviously LOR to US. I'm assuming Sleuth is US based. Yeah, I mean it doesn't really matter. Sleuth's quite basic in terms of its approach. It's simply just a setting now. Best inspiration. Papers, please. PayPal link. Timeline. Board. Give me. Most boring inspiration. Paper handling. But it's one way to do it. So obviously you have all your little evidence there, so how it's displayed there will be at the bottom, and then obviously the top part will be your board where you can drag them onto there, and then you can pin them next to each other. Write notes as well. And the only thing is setting the where and the when. I think in terms of this, I'll leave it here because I can hear dinner being prepared. Actually, I'll be back in a second. I'll go see how long dinner is. If it's close, I'll probably end the stream now. If it's still got another like half an hour or so, I'll keep going for a little bit. But then I'll take a break. And I'll probably come back later. Either some more brainstorming, some LA Noire, maybe. Potentially LA Noire. Could do that. Or I might come back. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Because we got a lot done today in terms of figuring out exactly the steps. Whether it's 3D or 2D. Different specifics. Thanks to Razor. Sending links and talking about knowing about these officers. And the core elements. Yeah, I will go quickly check. I'll be right back in. Yeah, it'll take me about like a minute to go check, and then we'll see whether we're going to continue streaming or finish it off there for the bit. Oh, I didn't mean to. I meant to turn it down. Yeah. So dinner. Don't let your dreams be. Wow. Thanks, Kazas. So yeah. It is going to be very shortly. I need to toilet as well. So we're gonna end it here. I'm gonna throw over to a raid. Thank you everyone for your help, by the way. And thank you for the follow. The multiple follows? Either way, thank you for the follows, thank you for the views, thank you for the lurkers. You're just watching and enjoying the stream. Don't know how fun the streams be, but thank you everyone for the help. In terms of tomorrow, I will likely be back tomorrow. The plan, so in terms of the streaming schedule, the hope is 2 hours every day during the week, at least. Weekend, as much as I can. The aim is to try and do at least 2 hours, well, 1 to 2 hours every day, and just slowly progress. There'll be some stuff I can't show on stream, due to the nature of the game. Just when I'm doing research into specific crimes. That's why I got this. If you do know of any like criminal cases, like specifically based in the UK now, there may be ideas for characters or ways of committing crimes or signature things or anything that could have an influence on how I approach the game, or ideas. Whispers, either the name of the case or the Wikipedia article, because of obviously. It's like I don't know whether people want to, like it doesn't, like, it can be quite detailed and grim stuff, and obviously if someone else don't know what everyone's past is, if something like that's happened, it's just basically to be safe. Well, I'm sorry. But yeah, stuff like that. Any research into that sort of stuff will definitely be done off stream. Like specific cases, I will never look at those on stream. But that's harsh. Yeah, it is a bit harsh. Yeah, but the issue with it is, A, you've got to ask to post a link anyway. And B, like, I may turn it to any links native to post. It may lead. Like, it obviously depends on the nature of it, but it's still a very. Hey, hey, Holy. Hey, Snowy. How are you doing? We're actually, I'll give you a brief overview of what we've done, but we're actually about to finish off and go for raid. I was basically planning out a detective game, based on this flat game called Sleuth. I can have a picture of Sleuth. Have we got where's Sleuth? There you go, Sleuth. That's the whole point. Those are nights by the way. So post link, no, I'll actually see it unless you put it. True. That is the point. There you go. Yep, that's, yeah. But I'll move that last line then. Or just change it to say may lead, because it's very. Yeah. I see what your point is. But obviously, I still want to be very careful in terms of that. Well, we'll move that last line, and I'll just have the whole. Please tell me the name of the case, or a link to the Wikipedia article. Name Gam, or you make it personal project now, Holy. Snowy. You're saying Holy first is the first thing to appear, but I know you want me to be Snowy. We have first project. The Game Jam, link for this again. There's gonna be I'm gonna make a dev vlog post at some point tonight about it all. But I basically rushed into the Game Jam, rushed into the idea, and I wasn't really too passionate about the idea, or too sold on the idea initially. It was sort of a, hey, I need the idea, and I sort of jumped to it too quickly. And it's like, I don't play many platformers. It's not a sort of game I'm interested in. Well, I mean, I do play some platformers, but like, basically it wasn't something I was passionate about. But this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. The idea popped in my head again yesterday, and I started putting together all of this. Yeah, it's a big personal project now. Plan is brainstorm, prototype one case, then roadmap of like how I'm going to take that one case and make it into a big game with loads of cases, and obviously start making the game. Yeah, we do actually. One thing I did take note of was, I believe, boom, it works. I did make a command for the raid message, and we are going to go raid someone, and I may be back later. 6 now. Finished in at 7. Maybe not actually. Maybe not streaming later. We're gonna go with no stream later. We're gonna end it here. I will be back tomorrow though. Between 6 and 8. Be the plan. Depending on when dinner is. But yes, we're going to end it now. I will. Crap, forgot about time. I gotta get going. Okay, no worries, Case Graph. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, thank you for everyone tuning in, for the follows. We're gonna go. Wait, this is the third time I've said this. I get so easily distracted. And now a case of choosing who. I know exactly who we're gonna go for actually. We are going. Well, Salah's really late then. No worries. Sorry. Sorry, didn't get earlier. It happens. But you'll be able to check out the VOD if you really want to watch what happened. I also gonna make. I also do a devlog. I will be posting an update of what got done today, and in terms of the whole idea, and there'll also be a blog post about why I stopped the cherry jam. But yeah, sometimes you can't help it. I like it happens, and I'm sorry you tuned in earlier, but I will be going pretty much every day from now on. Is the plan, unless something major happens or I'm busy. Right, we're gonna go raid someone who I followed a lot. Let me just double check. Let's double check to see who else is streaming before I jump over. Who else is doing game development? Do I settle on anyone in particular? Development. Community, let's see who's going. Because obviously we've had Ludum Dare. Nah, we're gonna go with him. Please mute there, mute. Yeah, he's still going. Okay, so we are going to. What is he working on at the moment? Yeah, he's working on that. Yeah, we're going to go over to Dunk Devs. Okay, I'll be sure to keep a closer eye on Twitter then tomorrow. No worries, that sounds good, and I'll make sure. Yep, I'll be around this time again tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to go over to Dunk Devs. The raid message is here. He is working on this elevator shooter. I think the best way to describe it. We actually have a list of what the project is. Yeah, I would basically call it an elevator shooter. He is a great guy. He has an amazing UI as well. He can shoot people. We're going to jump in. Oh no, we're not going to get there in time. I'm going to say we're going to jump in and sacrifice ourselves. But if you ever see the option where it's attack, sacrifice of 1, sacrifice and throw Gavin, Drunk Devs out the ship. So yeah, we're going to go over and raid him. That is the raid message. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'm so sorry for rambling on. And I will see you guys tomorrow.
So the image exhale is not being flipped properly. That's a weird one. Let me go handle that. And Creative Fletcher! Thank you for the host! The pizza party has arrived! God damn, that's awesome. We're running low on pizza. Welcome on in, everybody. From Creative Fletcher stream. How did it go today? Good to see you, and thank you for that, host. High five. If you guys aren't following Creative Fletcher, do yourself a favor. Do yourself that favor. Please don't follow you. There we are.